Ryan Raymond, and tonight we're going to talk about the best sellers rank on Amazon and how you can use it to gauge the demand in the niche that you're researching and help you understand how the best sellers rank works when you're doing your product research on Amazon. So stick with me and we'll jump into it here. We'll get the chat going here. We'll have some people jumping in. They may ask some questions if you're catching this on replay. So tonight, the big thing we're going to talk about is BSR, and the best way I can kind of show that to you guys is show you some of my products that are selling and some of the tools that I use to look at them. So I'm going to pop open my merch dashboard here and we are going to jump in. For those of you guys that are just joining me and you're selling on FBA or looking to just start selling on Amazon, the way I sell on Amazon is through a platform called Merch by Amazon, and it allows me to create t-shirt designs, and Amazon prints them and ships them to the customer for me and handles everything for me and just sends me a royalty each month. You can do this as a merchant fulfilled type person using like Printful, or maybe you're someone who sells textbooks or private label products or are just wanting to learn Amazon. This is still going to be applicable to you, but we're going to talk about this in the context of t-shirts because that's my primary focus. So first thing I've said I wanted to do here is kind of jump in my dashboard, but I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the BSR here as we're going. So if you start on Amazon and you land here and you just want to start searching for a product. So let's say you're someone who was doing textbooks, because I used to flip textbooks here on Amazon. I just haven't done it as much lately. A lot of intensive packing and things like that, and making a design on my phone and uploading it is a lot easier. So let's say I was just looking for books. So history textbook. All right, so the first one that comes up here, let's say, and I'm using a Chrome extension right here called DS Amazon Quick View, and you can get that on the Chrome store, and it puts the best sellers rank here in the search results for you. So this is 27,000 in books, and that's in the top 100 of the books. 510 in books, 12,477. So what does that mean? What sort of information can that give you? So if you scroll down into here, you would come all the way down to the best sellers rank, and it's 510 in books. That probably means it's selling maybe 10, 15, 20 times a day, maybe more. It depends on the category. So there are a lot of tools to put charts in here. Keepa offers a chart. Unicorn Smasher, Helium 10. There are a lot of different tools out there, but since tonight, like I said, we're going to talk about this in the context of t-shirts to help the main people who are following my page understand what they're researching. We're going to use a tool called Merchlytics, and Merchlytics is put out by Merch Informer, who is a research tool, but this part of it is probably the best, most valuable tool for it. So one of the things that we're going to do here is let's just pop open one of my t-shirts. I don't know, this one just sold today. Okay, so this one is, I've showed this on here before. It's a funny Linux, I just want to go home shirt. And you'll scroll down here, and this is putting in a 30-day chart on. So what Merchlytics is doing is putting this BSR history chart and price chart right directly on the Amazon page. So right now this shirt sold today. So it's got a 301,272 BSR. So what does that mean? It's right now currently the 301,000th best-selling shirt on Amazon right now in the novelty and more category. So it gives you the best sellers rank, and then it breaks that down because it's in the clothing, shoes, and jewelry niche. So that's where we're really researching. So what I know based on that is it got its update today, and a 300,000 rank means it has sold within the last 24 hours when I'm doing research. And these are how it ranks in each of those other categories. And you can see up here, this chart shows its rank going up from 1 million to 3 million, and then earlier in the month dropping down, and then up again. This doesn't quite scan all the products every day, But what you're looking for is where that change in BSR occurs. And what that means is that a sale occurred around that time. It's not going to tell you exactly how many sales it made. It might have been a 5 sale shirt. It might have been a whole bunch of things, but it is not, it's just telling you that the BSR dropped is what this is doing. So you can get a picture of about how many shirts this thing is selling every month. Why is that important? So right now, this is targeting the funny IT niche. So funny IT shirt. So right now, if I look on there, I'm using the AMZ Suggestion Expander with keywords everywhere, Chrome extension, and it's telling me that funny IT shirts on Google has 90,500 searches per month. All right, so funny IT shirt comes up in 1 through 48 of 40,000 results. So it is a very competitive niche. And we are wanting to know if there's demand here. So right away we see on the top, we're in the clothing, shoes, and jewelry category. So 4,492. This is an Amazon choice. This is not an FBA shirt, but we could come down here to this one. So this one right here is at 166,687. This is heavily infringing and will probably get this person taken down. I'm quite surprised that it's still on there. Let's see how long it's been up. Oh, it's only been up a couple days and it's skyrocketed to the top. So the chart hasn't even updated yet. But this thing's doing 166,000. So it's selling 2 or 3 per day based on my experience. That BSR it kind of hits different levels. For example, one of my times I got a shirt down, one of the best sellers I got it down to was at 4th of July, and I sold 6 in one day, and it got to a 60,000 BSR. So each jump brings it down a little bit more, kind of keeps cutting it in half is about the kind of best way I could see it, show you guys doing it. 1 or 2 is going to get you down to about 200,000, 180,000, depending on the day and how many sales there are currently on Amazon. Because let me just kind of transition while I'm talking here. If there are a lot of sales happening on Amazon, 1 sale isn't going to move the needle as much as 10 sales will. And on the same day next year, there might be less sales and it'll move it further and it might jump down to 180,000. So you can kind of get an idea of how well things are selling on Amazon in the t-shirt category for us if you are watching your BSRs after they sell. Depending on how far down they're going, let's say they're jumping to 180,000. That's something that was happening during the summer here quite a bit when when the sales were slowing down. So it allowed for higher rankings, which can kind of skew, depending on the year, how many sales are happening. I kind of hope that makes sense for you guys. So we'll look at a few more here. So let's not find one that was just put up and is going to get someone terminated. So let's look for something that's been here for a little bit and kind of see what these charts look like, so you guys can see it. I work in IT, funny computer shirt. So like I had said, I was trying to compete in this niche for how many sales per month there are. So by looking at the other shirts, I can see this one got 1, 2, 3, probably 4, maybe 5 sales in the last 30 days when I'm looking at this chart right here. So 5 sales in the last 30 days, which is pretty cool. And if you're not sure and you're not sure if this is going to verify what it is, let me just do a quick transition and I'll pull up something that is sold. We'll see how many times it's sold in the last month. I'll just pull up one of my sellers. Let me scan through. Let's do this one. So this shirt has sold 8 times in the last 30 days. So can you figure that out from this chart? So we see the one big drop right here where it made its initial sale. And then that's when I raised my price, you can see here, and it continued to climb without a sale until a couple weeks ago, and it got 1. And now you can see the BSR hasn't done its normal climb. As you can see it should have been climbing higher, but it stayed down here below the 1 million. So depending on which days, each of these dots are the day that Merch Informer checked it. And that shows that it was staying low. So it's not telling me exactly that it got 8 sales, but it's giving me a good idea of how many sales it made. If I do another one here for you guys to see, let's see here. This one has sold 5 times in the last month. If it'll pull up the chart. So this one's one of the Betsy Ross flag shirts. 1 and a drop here, and then another drop and another drop here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it took those snapshots and it didn't catch it in between, but it showed that it didn't have a big increase. So that's a pretty good indication that another sale occurred there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how can this really help you when you're researching? What does it mean? So let's say we were doing Halloween mom shirts. All right, so let's say we were going to be researching Halloween and we wanted to find the first merch shirt. So we look at this merch shirt. It says, I am the mummy. And well, that's cool. That's actually one of mine. I really didn't mean to show you guys one of my best-selling Halloween shirts, but there it is from last year. So you can see here the BSR has only made 1 sale in the last month. It's right now currently ranked the #1 for mom Halloween shirts, and it's only made 1 sale in the last month. You can see I raised my price after the sale, and I haven't made another one. And its BSR is currently 5,544,703. Now this one, if you could see further than the 30 days, some charts will do it, but not a lot of tools pull all the different types of products on Amazon. So if you're looking for a Chrome extension, you're probably going to want to find one that's relevant to the types of products you're looking for. Since these are actually sold by Amazon, Keepa and Helium-10 and a lot of those products won't track the data. So Merch Informer is the only one I know of that's got the extension that puts it on here, right in your research. So 5 million BSR. So it sold earlier this month and it's now at a 5 million BSR. That's why I'm not necessarily afraid of looking for shirts that have high BSRs when I'm doing research, guys. So it sold once this month. If you did a search for funny mom Halloween t-shirt, we'll get it all in there and see if it'll pull up just the Merch by Amazon ones for some examples here. Let me zoom out. So you can look through all of these BSRs and you can see that Halloween shirts are starting to sell, but they're still 800,000, 166. So not many of them are diving down into the everyday sales, but sales are happening. And mostly on the shirts that are cheaper and that we're not able to compete with. But the other ones are going to be starting to come up. So like that phrase that I had there, I am the mummy Halloween shirt. So, yep, so on the Grand Mummy, Little Monsters, there's plenty of them on here. So this is another one of mine here. I had the Grand Mummy. I took that same mom design and I turned it into Grand for Grand Mummy. And it's at a 3 million BSR. So if we looked at that shirt and see how long ago it sold. If it'll pull up the chart, there we go. So you can see it sold more recently, so its BSR hasn't increased as much, but it was way up here at 4 or 5 million, so it had sold back here as well. That's kind of how the BSR works. It gets a sale, and then every day as more products sell better than it, it keeps increasing. So looking at these designs, I can say there's probably 1 or 2 sales in the last month. So just saying that if it's under 5 million BSR, it's probably made at least 1 sale in the last month. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shirts have BSRs, 5, 6, 7. So in that, I would say be able to safely say by looking at the BSRs for this search result, there are currently 708 search results for this. And right now, coming into a month from Halloween, only 7 of them have sold. And so there's 700 people competing for this phrase for right now 7 sales. Now it's going to go up later in the year, but the people who are at the top kind of do have that hammered down. So if you're looking for things that are going to be a little bit more popular, so let's look if we did unicorn shirt. So analyzing these as a niche, and this is a really high level search. It's not a niche down focus. So we have an 82,000, we've got a 397, we've got a 165, and a 15,000. So a 15,000 right there, we're probably saying he's probably selling 10 to 20 a day easily. Very easily, that many or more. The Unicorn Squad, this is probably 2, maybe 3 sales today at 165. And 397 right there. So it sold this morning, maybe yesterday, in the top 3. And then if you go back down here, we got a 365 and then a 110. So knowing how that number moves in your product category can help you understand how many sales are being made in that keyword. So if you're searching and there's 10,000 search results and the BSRs are all in the 5 millions and you're competing with 10,000 shirts, that means you're competing with 10,000 people for maybe 4 or 5 sales a month. So that's kind of a way to figure out how you're going to stand out. Now, in those niches like the Halloween niche, finding a way to stand out is how you're going to get those sales when that seasonal trend comes around. Does anyone have any questions on BSRs here? Let me just jump over. I don't actually have any chat messages updated from here. So we'll just kind of keep talking about it. So it's a way you can kind of validate the keywords. I don't know. Let's look for some of the other shirts and evaluate it here. I'm just going to pick any one of my shirts. I don't know. I'll just grab one. Okay, so teacher, pre-K teacher, long sleeve shirt. So pre-K teacher shirt. So this is one that's sold recently. So there's over 2,000 results, so I know that's going to go way up. But this was a long sleeve. So what happens if I do long sleeve? All right, that brought it down a little bit. I don't see my... Oh, I am ranked on there. Cool. So we're going to look at the BSRs here. Look at this. 15 million, no rank found. 13 million, 897,000, 1 million, 7 million, 5 million. I have this up in basically a sea of shirts, but I also have quite a few of these are mine that I've listed in here. So I know a few more of these here are mine, which I'm ranking for, which is cool. But really, what am I competing for with 3,000 other results? This is just it's a tough niche that isn't selling well because this one sold maybe 4 or 5 days ago. This one sold 2 or 3 months ago. This one sold a couple months ago. And then mine just sold one the other day. And it's up to 1 million BSR now. So heavy competition, not a lot of demand. And so it's not really worth my time right now to be adding a lot more designs to it because I've only sold 1 or 2. It really kind of depends on how you feel you can. So there's a question here in the chat. So it says, so what range window is the best? It really depends on how well you feel you're going to be able to rank for that keyword compared to the number of search results and how many sales you are okay with getting. I love having shirts that sell once a month. They stay well under the radar of anyone searching for results. And I think that it builds a nice diverse portfolio that way. So I have no problem with hitting niches like this pre-K teacher niche. The t-shirt side is probably a little bit better. Probably the V-neck as well. Or it might not be. I don't know. We'll transition over here. So yeah, looking at the V-neck shirt. So a 489, a 1.7, a 1.9, a 904, a 964, an 8 million. So on the t-shirts, there's a lot more that are getting that higher BSR. So I'm more comfortable with it if the whole front page has higher BSRs and there's a lot of search results than if just 1 or 2 products have BSRs, if that makes sense, to target those keywords. Does that make sense, Deb? Let me know there in the chat. So we can look at a few others and kind of just see how that BSR moves. Here's an older one that's been up for a while. Let's see, I think I've only sold 1 or 2 of them here recently. It doesn't even have enough data It hasn't sold in so long until just the other day. So, but it's a 2 million BSR, but it's sold this month. So don't necessarily be afraid of high BSRs, but be aware that that just means there's less demand as the BSRs get higher. And we're in a slower time of year, so you guys can kind of also just ignore the BSR at times. I think this is kind of what I wanted to get through. So if you guys made it this far in the video, please make sure you like it. If you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on the notification bells and tell a friend. Thank you. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.